Hi, I'm Tim. I'm the Clinical Director at Surrey Physio, amazing group of physiotherapy clinics. And I get asked a lot, what are the differences between a physiotherapist and a chiropractor? So let's look at 5 key differences. The first one is education and training. Well, a physiotherapy program tends to be shorter. The degree course is 3 years at undergraduate degree or bachelor's degree, and the master's degree is 2 years in physiotherapy. Chiropractors, on the other hand, have a longer course, and they actually qualify as a Doctor of Chiropractic. So they spend longer at university than physiotherapists, and they come out with a doctorate instead of a master's or a bachelor's in physiotherapy. The second difference is the treatment approach. So chiropractors tend to be more hands-on. They use a lot of spinal manipulation. So they do a lot of clicking and crunching and cracking. And that's unusual for physiotherapists to do much. Now, many physios are trained in those techniques, but they just choose not to use them regularly. We're a bit more cautious in physio, and we're also worried we don't really want to hurt patients. And I'm not saying that chiropractors do hurt people, but there's a little bit more risk of patients being sore with a heavy manipulation, and many patients don't like it. So we're always a little bit less heavy with the treatment techniques as physios. And chiropractors do tend to use a lot more spinal manipulation, and they probably do focus a bit more on the spine, whereas physios tend to be a bit more whole body. The third big difference between physio and chiropractor is the session length. Chiropractors, they tend to want to see you much more regularly, and they want shorter sessions. So a lot of times the session is a few minutes long, maybe 10 minutes maximum, and you'll have a manipulation, clonk on the neck, and that'll be the session done, but they'll want to see you 2 or 3 times a week. And after 2 or 3 weeks, you'll go down to twice a week, and then once a week, and then monthly. So the sessions are much shorter with chiropractic. With physiotherapy, it's more education and rehabilitation and treatment. And so our sessions are typically 30 minutes with a physio. And so they last longer, and we tend to want to get to the root cause of the problem. So we do offer maintenance treatments if patients really ask us, but usually we just actually want to sort people out and get them to self-manage their problem. The fourth big difference between physios and chiropractors is the referrals. As physios, we tend to get a lot of GP referrals, and I think generally chiropractors get less GP referrals, and that's probably because physiotherapy is much more established in the NHS. So it's much more a standardised medical pathway that GPs follow to refer to physiotherapy. And that pathway doesn't really exist in the NHS. So there's not so many opportunities to get GP referrals. And we find the same with consultants as well. Now, of course, there are consultants that will refer to chiropractors, of course, but there's some excellent chiropractors out there. But we tend to find that consultants will typically refer more patients into physiotherapy, possibly because we do more rehabilitation, for example, post-surgical rehabilitation. The last difference that I would say is the research base. In my opinion, there's a stronger research base that backs up exercise therapy, rehabilitation, and physiotherapy. And I think there's less research base that backs up spinal manipulation and manipulation of joints. So I would say that that's a key difference, is the research that supports physiotherapy compared to chiropractic. And I'm not saying chiropractic doesn't work, but what I am saying is that there's less research that backs it up. And that's possibly because the research hasn't been done. And that's absolutely fine. It's just a smaller profession than physio. We don't employ any chiropractors at Surrey Physio because we have physios and osteopaths. But if you want to see a physiotherapist, then please come to Surrey Physio, and we'll be very, very happy to help you rehabilitate.